All right, we're here working on our Nutshell Pram. We're putting on, get ready to put on the whiskey plank. The last plank, shear side starboard, is what it's going to be today. Just a few notes about working with this plank or maybe the shear plank on the other side. One of these shear planks is one of the very first ones you'll cut out from your plans. And when you see it on the plans, it has you cut this plank right almost at the end of the edge of the plywood that you're working with. So just by happenstance, we've been lining up the planks. There's normally overhangs on both ends. And we're shifting them fore and aft a little bit as we like it. And so we've had plenty of overhang, but on this one plank that you cut out early on, there's the line right there for the transom. There's not much excess. So this plank, for certain, when you get ready to put it on the boat, you want to start at the stern and then, work it and curve it around, get your mid-station line close. It's not going to be exact, or at least it wasn't for us, but you'll be close. And the reason I'm saying that is if you started up the bow and said, oh, this looks good up here, and you started coming around back to the stern, you might find out that you're 1/32nd, 0.28 inches short when you get back, and you got to take it off and start messing with it all over again. So this last plank, you've got your reference lines. When you draw the plank, you've got that should be the aft face of the stern transom. I'll spin you around to the left here and move you up. And there's a center line alignment mark. This says, and they have you put a little X on there, and I just went ahead and wrote on the plank, since we're going to paint it anyway, is aft face. What they're talking about is that plank should come down when you start to put it on to get it fit. Here's your mid-shape frame. That line should be real close to the aft face of this frame. Once again, this is the only frame in the boat per se. You got your bow and your stern transom, but these molds here end up getting taken out, or at least you hope they do, because one of the tips is you make sure you put some type of plastic. In this case, it's a very expensive black garden trash bag that we cut up and put on there, because when you put epoxy here and on the plank you put on, you squeeze it all together, you could have some epoxy squeeze out and your boat could be glued to your mold. And there's ways to get it off, obviously, but don't want to mess with that when you're all excited about getting your boat off the mold. So we just tape this on this #1 mold and the #3 mold aft, and you'll do that each time you attach a plank. So the way you want to get lined up for this last plank is what we're most interested in, is the shear line and how it meets up with the transom. On this transom's got 2 different levels, so we want to make sure that plank comes down. This looks like we'll sit a little higher when the boat's up. So we want to make sure it covers both of those faces. So whether that's dropping it down a little here or pushing it up a little there, whichever one it turns out to be, that's where you want to get it. And you'll come back with a plane or a rasp or whatever when it's all done. Get a nice fair curve. And then when you've carefully drawn your molds, you make sure you make a reference mark for the shear line on your first mold. And then on your midships frame, you might think, boy, that looks weird. You're gonna end up sawing that chunk of it off once you get your plank on. Come around on this, it's on this aft face actually. There's the shear line mark, little red line there for the midships frame. Spin everybody back around to the right. And we'll go on this #3 mold, the shear. And I guess I just didn't pencil mark it on this, but I just knew that it was on this aft transom. I want to make sure the plank covers both faces of that, so it looks like this aft edge, after you've beveled, it'll be the highest spot on the boat when it's upright. So I'll make sure it covers there. I was looking at the plank to make sure it covered the whole width, and it does. That was about time I said, whoa, that's pretty close on the end, so I'll just scoot it back a little bit. The other planks, when you cut them out, friend, his tip was don't cut your plank out. If you're a moderately experienced or less than averagely experienced builder, right to the line, because there's going to be some vagaries and some measurements, and you might get there and find out your plank is 1/64.289 inches too short. And that will be a moment that you want to go sit in the moaning chair and contemplate what you're going to do next. You know, pull out the tube of epoxy and make it longer or something. So leave yourself that extra length. It might give you some extra leverage to pull the plank into position with a clamp or a piece of line or something while you're working on it, especially if you're working just by yourself. So just leave that extra on, and then when you come back and you're done, everything's dried up, you can take your expensive Craftsman cross-cut saw that you bought from True Value and cut the excess off once everything's dried and in place. Or you might have a nice Japanese pull saw, and that'll get you there. One last thing I want to mention, another buddy mentioned throwing in one or two little screws just below where these shear lines are, so that when you're working by yourself, you need 3.5 hands, and most of us only have 2. You can set this plank in position, and that becomes your third hand to hold it mostly in place while you start getting some screws in. So what's been working for us on this is to put one screw in to get it in the spot we want it, put one screw in on the bow, the stern back here. So come and drill a screw into the transom, take our pencil, make a little pencil mark so we know where that screw hole is. Then you bring it all the way around the plank, make sure it's fit the way we want it, and get it fit, and then do the same thing up on the bow, one screw, one hole, one pencil mark. And then come along, everything's dry at this point, no epoxy on it. Then come on with a handy 6-inch measuring device. And every 6 inches, just like we did up here, mark a space for a hole where your fasteners are going to go. And for fasteners, we've been using fender washers and deck screws, a little block of PVC foam board as the nut to clamp everything tight while it dries. So that's what we did. And the reason you put the fender washer on there is if you don't, and you drive the screw a little bit too tight, you might get a bigger dimple there into the plywood. This fender washer just spreads the load out. Get real overzealous, you might actually pull the screw all the way through. Not so much the case with these PVC blocks. The PVC starts to strip out when it gets right to about the Goldilocks tension on the screw. So we're gonna drop this camera and go attach the 4.5 end of this plank, and then go in and pre-drill those pilot holes for these screws and nuts to come on later. And as mentioned in the builder's guide, I'm gonna pre-drill everything while it's dry before you pull out the sticky epoxy, so that all the sawdust can be swept away. Unless you like the 20 grit finish in the epoxy once you're done. If you like it that way, then just drill everything after it's all wet and goopy. So we'll be back with you soon with another fun-filled fact about building Penobscot. Oh, this is not a Penobscot. Yeah, Nutshell Pram.